Okay, we're going to start with the nation, as usual. Federal government releases 42,000 metric tons of grains to ease food crisis. Why electricity subsidy can't continue by minister. Sultan emirs seek urgent action on insecurity and joblessness. 50 shops gone in Lagos gas blast. APC governors caution PDP and colleagues against incitement. Sanwo-Olu gives 750 million naira to 15,000 traders. And NBA to challenge Nigeria-UK MOU. Okay, story.
So, major headline, everybody hope is coming. The federal government has set up a board to, manage the release of foodstuff across the country. They are releasing 42,000 metric tons of grains to start with. The president also met with rice millers in Abuja on how, rice is usually the cap price measurement for most foods. So to see how that will drop prices as well. And the Minister of Information and Orientation spoke on how the food security is going to be assured across the country. The states, according to some states, are already releasing intervention. We took that of Oyo State the other day, but Dr. Abiodun of Ogun State has a 5 billion intervention to tackle food inflation as well. But because of what we've seen, we saw the warehouses up north where foodstuff were left to rot. And the Auditor General also took out NEMA left foodstuff for years to rot as well, and supplies to rot. Would really like that is a proper supervision, undisclosed, uninformed visits to most of these boards to ensure that nobody is taking food to any friend, any place, and they're properly distributed to ease people's lives.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Power Minister, Adebayo Adelabu, has said that the federal government is owing 1.3 trillion debts to power generation companies as the GENCOs, and another $1.3 billion to gas firms. And it seems like the federal government may not be able to sustain the subsidy on electricity anymore. So he said this yesterday after a news conference, and he said that 2.9 trillion will be needed to fund electricity subsidy this year. And, the federal government had earmarked 450 billion, which is less than 20% of, sorting the subsidy that we need. And so we now have to have a conversation with ourselves. Are we seeing the electricity company as a commercial utility, or are we seeing it as a social service? And if it's a commercial activity, that means that we need to start paying tariff that is commensurate, yes, cost-reflective tariff, so that they would have money to be able to give us the power that we need. And he went ahead to say that we cannot afford paying subsidy anymore. We just need to be realistic about this. And the companies themselves are not able to carry out some of the projects that they need. They said they have over 100, projects that they have left like that because they do not have the funds to carry out this project. And the outstanding debts obligation also to gas supply and power generation is also not helping them to generate the light that we need to, do all of our business. So we need to decide. And as a result of the lack of resources to be able to do their business, we know that we've had, between December 2023 and now, we've had about 6 collapse of the power grid. This is no longer working for us. So I'm just worried that everything is just happening at the same time. We're still struggling as a result of the fuel subsidy removal. And now if we remove we make a cost-reflective tariff for electricity, I don't know how many people will be able to afford having electricity.
So we have to say,
well, but also, as we know, the regulatory body has told us that these discos have been overcharging people anyways. So, I'm hoping that they can use that largesse of over 100 billion to make up for all the times that they have overcharged us.
That one is gone. We might not see
No, they should use it to provide the meters. It's not gone. The regulatory body says that they are taking 10%
right,
out
let's
of
take another story.
They can do. Let me take the story of the National Working Committee of the Labour Party. They have suspended the party's national treasurer, Oluchi Okpara, for asking the national chairman, Julius Abure, to account for 3.5 billion naira party funds. So Obiora Ifo, who is the party's national publicity secretary, said that they had on Monday asked okay, so let me put it this way. The treasurer, that is Ms. Okpara, on Monday had asked Abure to account for 3.5 billion that was raised from sale of nomination forms and fundraising activities in the build-up to last year's general elections. But we have the publicity secretary saying that she's more like a mole, that she's working with the opposition party, PDP, to be precise. They said that the opposition was quite surprised or shocked by, the role that LP played in the last elections. It was not expected of them, so they are trying to break the party, and they have used her as a mole to do that. That they had put up a disciplinary committee so that they could address the issue, and she never showed up for that. That's to show that there's some agenda to what she's touting about. But she, on the other hand, and to most people, it feels like because she has called them out for what is allegedly misappropriation of funds, they have gone ahead to suspend her.
Okay, so the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, yesterday kicked off the distribution of 750 million naira to 15,000 traders. Lagos Market Trader Morning is a scheme. Each beneficiary will receive 50,000 naira. He said that the initiative will actualize his goal of transforming food systems in Lagos, stimulating economic activities at food markets. If you recall, they had opened a food market in Mushin, which many people have gone there. It's called a mid-level agro-produce hub at Idioro Mushin. That's where he announced the 750 million financial intervention. According to him, the initiative was conceptualized as a stopgap measure to empower small-scale traders in the food systems by giving them financial support, thereby fostering economic growth and improvement of lives across the state. He said that 75% of the beneficiaries are women, while the remaining 25% are men, adding that 35% of the beneficiaries are below 40 years and 65% are above 40 years. Okay, let's move on now to the Punch. Tinubu governors meet over food crisis as AMA's NBA laments hardship. Flying wigway others in bad weather wrong, says U.S. aviation lawyer. FG to borrow over 2 trillion naira via bond, says DMO. ECPO on ground as punchers intensify training for anniversary march. Technical problems threw 14 Ogun communities into darkness, says Ibadan Electricity Disco. And Sanwo-Olu begins 750 million naira trader money payment.
Okay. So let me take the Ibadan one very quickly. So, the spokesperson for the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, Busola Mituwashi, said that starting Tuesday, there was a technical glitch that plunged their customers in certain communities. Some go gas line, Oyero, Nikpetesi Agoro, Olowo Agolo, Mokonla Estate, along the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, Eleriko, ShopRite, Abule, Iroko, and others. And she said this is due to a breaker on the Joko 33 kV feeder that was bad. And they assured that their technical team are already on top of the situation, and they are working closely with the TCN to ensure that power is restored. This is how we want it done.
Yeah.
Tell us why we are in darkness. Codisco does that. They have WhatsApp group across.
So still reviewing Punch. Mariam had a story?
Yes, I do. And it's just an update on the crash, that took the lives of our great Herbert Wigwe, his wife, his son, and also Group Chief Executive Officer, and also,
former
Group Chairman of Nigerian Stock Exchange, Abimbola Ogunbanjo. First, there's a United States of America aviation lawyer called Robert Clifford, and he claims that this accident was avoidable. There was no need for them could have been averted, actually, and was, given the weather conditions, it was not, it didn't seem right for them to have taken that particular flight at that time. Just also an update on what the NTSB is doing concerning the investigations. That first of all, they have moved the wreckage to to another site where they're going to, do further investigations. And then in about 4 weeks, we're supposed to get results of the preliminary investigation, but that the full investigation itself will take between 12 to 24 months before we get that. And in that time, we should be able to know what caused the accident. And that's it, really, just giving us an update of what's happened. And also, the story gave us a background, but many Nigerians already know the sad story, so I'm not
Okay.
going to
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, so monarchs from the north, under the umbrella of Northern Traditional Council, NTC, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Said Abubakar III, yesterday told the federal government that the hardship, insecurity, poverty, and unemployment in Nigeria, and the north in particular, was getting to a level that they could no longer pacify the people from revolting. So, addressing members yesterday at the Arewa House, Kaduna, during the 6th Executive Northern Traditional Council Committee meeting, the Sultan, told the government that the traditional rulers, religious leaders, as well as state governors have been the ones pacifying the jobless citizens, jobless youths from revolting against political leaders that are at the helm of affairs. And it's getting to a level that the traditional leaders could no longer pacify the people trying to revolt against the government. And the government now needs to find solutions to their problems. And it says they should not take it for granted that people are quiet. They are quiet for a reason, because they have people that they've been listening to, people that have been talking to them. But after a while, they may stop believing them if they do not see any results from all the policies that the government is making. And so the government needs to wake up to ensure that there are jobs. And one of the reasons, or one of the things they can do to ensure that we have enough jobs, people are able to feed, even have the basics of life, is to take out the issue of insecurity. Once that is sorted, people will be able to go about their businesses and the economy will thrive. And so that they need to meet regularly to decide exactly what they need to do for the people so they can come out of poverty and insecurity.
Right, so I was going to take an update on the police. So the Rivers State Police Command has said one of its men, identified as Inspector Michael O'Day, involved in an act of extortion, has been dismissed. Similarly, it disclosed that 2 other operatives involved in the act have also been queried and recommended for dismissal. That's according to the story. They were arrested and detained for allegedly kidnapping and extorting $3,000 from 2 unidentified travelers in December 2023. The spokesperson for the state police has said that the inspector and the recommendation for dismissal of the 2 ASPs in the statement would actually follow the dismissal in conclusion once the trial is concluded. I had to take that update because it's important for us to know that the police is doing something
So they
to
had
read.
abducted these guys from Aba in Abia State, moved them all the way to Port Harcourt, and then made them pay $3,000 for their release.
$3,000.
In the police uniform, using the police as a...
So just to know that the police is doing what they can to remove all the bad eggs amongst them, but it's just for us to let Nigerians know that there's work being done. Daily Sun, Northern Monarchs fear mass revolt. Don't hinder immigrating nurses, Obi urges NMCN. Reps propose return to parliamentary government. $3,000 extortion. Police dismiss inspector, recommend 2 ASPs for sack. LP suspends national treasurer over fraud allegations against Abure. Food crisis, AFG releases 42,000 tons of grains. Tinubu orders Women Affairs Ministry to restructure World Bank loans and other grants. Okay, which story?
Let me take this. The presidential candidate for Labour Party that's Peter Obi, has advised nursing authorities in Nigeria against hindering their members desiring to immigrate or jackpot to other countries. The former Anambra State governor, they say he's an ardent supporter of nursing and other health practitioners' education in the country. And they say he bared his mind during his visit to College of Nursing Sciences at Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital, Ihiala, Anambra State. He donated 20 million naira for healthcare professionals training. I think that's good. He also emphasized the importance of enabling Nigerian nurses to access better global opportunities. He mentioned that they should reverse this new updated guidelines for verification of nurses, that it will hinder them from, accessing global opportunities. But what they should do is encourage that for nurses. Well, I feel that they're both sides. Some people feel...
I hope if he has a loved one in the hospital and needs a nurse, they won't say they have jackpot on his account. So
that's one end.
Sides.
And the other end is another end, which is if you have a family member, a nurse who's doing very well and has the opportunity to even earn more and do better.
Abroad. What do you
want to stop that person too. So both sides.
It's two sides of the
Most
conversation.
of them, they said they should do 2 years
before
qualify. So that means keep them a bit.
So there's a story I want to take in the list that I thought was really interesting. So the House of Representatives have introduced at the federal, state, and local governments that the country should return to parliamentary system of government. The bill is seeking to alter the relevant sections of the 1999 Constitution. Was sponsored by Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda and 59 others, and read for the first time at the plenary. I'm so excited about this because many of us have been clamoring.
Yes.
And we need to run a true federal system. The sponsor of the bill, under the aegis of parliamentary bill sponsors, at the press briefing, said the bill, if passed into law, would reduce the cost of governance in the country as well as make the government more accountable and responsive. I think the spokesman of the sponsors, Abdul Samad Dasuki, with the presidential system, which has been with us since 1979, says that it's not working for us. And I think many have echoed this over the years, that we need to really go back to a proper system that will make cost of governance reduced and get more people involved and more responsive to the plight of Nigerians. Okay, moving on now to Vanguard. Let's see how many minutes we have left. Bandits now rape our women, Zamfara indigene laments. Hardship, we can no longer pacify our subjects, northern monarchs tell Tinubu. Wigwe, US provides pictures of crash location as Senate mourns. UK lawyers can't practice in Nigeria, says federal government and NBA. Airfares fears mount over likely shutdown as ticket prices rise. And Governor Abiodun votes 5 billion naira to tackle rising cost of food. Okay.
Yes, so according to the Minister for Trade and Investment, Doris Azuka Anite, she was replying to the NBA chairperson, Yakubu Mayako, who had, of course, gotten offended on behalf of all of us and, talked about the MOU allegedly signed by Nigeria and the UK to allow UK qualified lawyers just, freely move in here and practice.
They're freely moving.
Yes. So, but she said, earlier today, Nigeria signed a far-reaching MOU with the United Kingdom for enhancing trade and investment partnerships. Regrettably, our earlier reports erroneously suggest that Nigeria signed an MOU that allows the lawyers licensed in the UK to practice in Nigeria. We wish to state emphatically that there's no such provision or agreement in the MOU, because we wonder, the licensing is not just licensing. You qualify, you take exams, you take training, and we go there to do that, to be able to practice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So now they say what you practice there because it's the supreme UK of the whole world, and just be coming here to practice.
But it was not there.
She said he not say it again. We all saw the MOU, we all read it, and the reaction was not baseless. But since they have taken it back, we agree say they not talking before.
Because it was strange.
Troublemakers.
Because I was waiting for the part where it says the same for Nigerians, that they can go there too and practice.
Thank you.
They will not agree.
I was waiting for you to take this story.
Do we have time for one more?
Yes, please.
Yes, so bandit attacks on rural communities in Zamfara, they said, has taken another dimension as the hoodlums are now concerned in raping married and single girls in the family. They do that in the family house. So they said they started talking about this after the Federal Capital Territory FCT Command, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, in conjunction with the NSCDC, that's the FCT Command and NSCDC, arrested some suspects. And those ones had, while they were talking about their experiences during interrogation, said that they also have sponsors who, give them guns and allow them to go and carry out this act. Now, they said the bandits will kill locals, and, sometimes they come in during the day and stay till midnight. There's no form of fear. They'll stay there. They'll harass the citizens. They'll rustle their cattle. They'll rape their women. They'll take their food. Broad daylight, stay till midnight before they leave. And, they say sometimes they're dressed in uniforms. They carry weapons. And they kill people as they like. they've been doing that. They also mentioned that in that area, there are no policemen deployed at all, and so those bandits have a free hand in doing things. They go to the farms, especially during the harvest period. They'll tell the farmers to contribute. The last one was 15 million before they are allowed to harvest their crops. And even after they had given them the 15 million, they still burnt down the farms, and drove them out. A lot of people are relocating from that area, those people who have somewhere else to stay. And the state governor is, calling out and asking for help, saying that they are doing something about this. They will keep doing something about this, but they need all the help that they can get to be able to, retrieve this state from bandits.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, what's our hot topic of today? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.